Good morning, Cole. First one in. Awesome. There you go. Nice, huh? How's that music sound? Probably terrible, huh? There we go. All right, got it. And we're off. Let me see if I can get this thing set up. Hopefully. Nice. Hey, it's actually better. Cool. And it's 10 o'clock. So we'll see how we do. So if y'all are here, check in. Hopefully we got a few. Who knows? We'll do what we can do. So Cole, you got a joke for me? I did have a little bit of excitement. Good morning, folks. I'll see if I can show you on my phone. I'm sure there's better ways to do it. Here, we'll try. There we go. Can you see that guy right there? That's a bear on my driveway. So never had a bear before, so that's something new. I'm not sure why bears are hanging around the house, but we don't need that. Okay, don't need any bears, so it's all good. All right, well, we're gonna get started. Of course, the most important thing, I know you want to know. It's Friday, blah blah blah, song, sing. Yep. Got the Vans today. So rocking the Vans. There's the it's got off the wall. Yeah, so we're definitely rocking the shoes this morning. Got to put them back on tight laces though. Monday we'll get started with the real thing. So I know you guys will be here, and hopefully the rest of them, the rest of y'all will show up too, and we'll get started. I'm looking at things. We're really in good shape. You guys are going to be amazed at what you can do and how well you can do with just a medium level of effort, especially if you're like me. You get a lot more time to work on this stuff than you normally do. All right, so we're going to quick look at a Monopoly. So we're going to draw a Monopoly here. So there's a Monopoly. Okay, probably doesn't need to be quite that thick on the pen. So I'm going to lower that down a little bit. So we got to add stuff, right? So there's demand, marginal revenue. Shoot, not quite. Let me back up just a tad. There we go. Demand, marginal revenue. Yeah, that works pretty good. Okay, demand, marginal revenue. We can see all that now. We need marginal cost. There's marginal cost. Once we get marginal cost, we knew that magic spot, right? That gives us quantity, Q max, right? Quantity at maximum. You can see that too. Cool. We go up to the demand curve, find out what people are willing to pay at that to sell that quantity, and that's P max, right? Or that's where we'll earn the maximum amount of profit. Typically, monopolies earn a profit. They don't have to, but typically they do. And so we're going to show the cost. We're going to draw our cost curve coming really down, going really fast back up, ATC. There's average total cost. We don't need to worry about variable cost typically with monopolies, but we've got that. Now, remember, we talked about that magic line. Let me do that thing again. Yeah, it's right here, right? It's right there. And so when you look at the magic line, you're like, hey, it intersects something. Well, it intersects our ATC. So right there is ATC. Okay, so you got all that stuff. That's awesome. We know exactly what's going on. This is our profit. So I go back to my shading tool. We'll make profit in green. How about that? To show making money. Shade that profit in there. And then we got some cool spots, right? In addition to this, we've got, where is fair return? Well, fair return is zero profit. So it's right there. So that's Q fair return. Okay. Where is socially optimal? Where supply equals demand, quantity supplied equals quantity demand. Remember, marginal cost is also what businesses will supply as long as you're above AVC and they're not shut down. And so there's your supply, there's your demand. So right there is Q socially optimal. Where's the deadweight loss? Deadweight loss is this triangle right here. Right? There's supply, there's demand. This is the transactions that don't happen because of deadweight loss. Moving along, what else do we have? Oh, other good things, right? Here's Q. This is max total revenue. How do we know that's max total revenue? Because it's where marginal revenue hits zero. Well, all of this is positive marginal revenue, but once you get down below to the negatives, you actually have negative total revenue. And I think that's all the cool stuff. We'll come back. We'll talk about some stuff more. Okay. Monopolistic competition. What's it look like? Hey guys, it looks exactly the same, right? Here's marginal cost. Here's ATC. That's demand. That's marginal revenue. We've got right up here. There we go. There's P. There's Q, and both of those, Q max, P max still. This, that's ATC, exactly the same. No differences at all, except for what could happen to a monopolistic competitor. Well, what could happen is firms could enter, right? They don't have a monopoly. They can't prevent firms from entering. And so firms can enter. What happens when firms enter? This is the thing you need to know. And in fact, I can even ask a better question. Will firms enter in this situation? So think about that real quick. Will firms enter, and why would they enter? Okay, and the answer is yes, they'll enter. Well, why will they enter? It's like because of that profit, right? They're earning a profit. Other firms are going to earn a profit too. And so McDonald's moves next door to you, and you're a Burger King. Well, what's going to happen to Burger King? Well, their demand is going to decrease, and their marginal revenue is going to decrease. Okay? And so firms enter, demand and marginal revenue decline until profit equals zero. And then firms quit entering. Okay? So the exact same thing that happens. All right? So that's where you're at with monopolistic competition. So it's basically the same, except for when firms enter, it decreases demand. So we're all good, and we'll get that. So if you get the monopolistic competition, that's kind of it, right? Looks like a monopoly, with the exception of firms can enter, and so our demand will go down because people go to other stores. They'll go to our competitors sometime. All right. So what we want to do is want to look at this real quick. Can you answer all of these things? Can you see where total revenue is, where total cost is, where profit is, where deadweight loss is, where socially optimal normal profit, total revenues maxed, and if you had to describe how to find the price, what would you do? Okay, take about a minute and see if you can glance through and figure those out real quick. I'm guessing you can. Okay, what's this graph? It's a monopoly graph, right? Where's the total revenue? This entire box, right? Because it's price times quantity. That's total revenue, that whole box. Where's total cost? Total cost is right here, that box. Okay, that's our cost. This is our total revenue. So that leaves all of this is profit, right? You get that, the magic line right there. All of that's profit, all of that's cost. The deadweight loss right here, all these transactions should have occurred, but won't unless they do what? What could cause all those transactions to occur? Somebody give me an answer real quick. Yeah, that's right. Perfect price discrimination. If they were able to perfectly price discriminate, then they could charge this person this and this and this and this, and every single transaction would occur with perfect price discrimination. That's not a real world thing, but the closer you get to perfect price discrimination, if you can price discriminate at all, it can help you capture some of this deadweight loss. Okay, socially optimal point. There's demand, marginal cost. Remember, it equals supply. So right here, that's H, right? So socially optimal is H. A normal profit, that's 0, okay? That's also at H, okay? Because otherwise they'd be earning a profit. So that's also at H in this case. So this one's a little bit weird. Max total revenue, that's right here at J. And how do we find price? Price is the quantity where MR equals MC and go up to demand curve, right? So the quantity, the price from the demand curve where at the quantity where MR equals MC, okay? That's what you'd say. All right, you pass that one too, moving on. See, we're going quick, right? You guys are good. I know you can go quick. All right, let's see how many of these answers we can get. Okay, the first question, at what level of output will this firm operate? Well, it's going to find MR equals MC, which is right here. So they'll operate at L. Okay, what's the marginal revenue at this level of output? Okay, that's a silly question, but the marginal revenue at that output is right here. Okay, so it would be B, but I don't think you'll ever see that question asked. That's just weird because it doesn't mean anything. What price will this firm charge? Well, they find this quantity, go up to the demand curve, and so they're going to charge E. The area of which rectangle is equal to total revenue? That's this rectangle here. Okay, what's the firm's average total cost? Find where that intersection is, which is right here. Come across. Their average total cost is C. Their total cost would be the rectangle. Their average total cost is just whatever C is. Okay, so that's C. The area which rectangle is equal to the firm's cost, total cost. And total cost is that entire, oops, there we go. Total cost is this entire amount. All of that is total cost, right? Which is quantity times cost. Is the firm making profits or incurring loss? Well, there's profits right here. So they're making profit because cost is less than price. And the area of which rectangle is equal to profits, that's this right in here. That's their profit, right? They did a bad job of making their U in this graph, but we'll take it, right? It is what it is. Okay, everybody good with that? Because now it's your turn. Okay, number 2. with the demand curve for a monopolistic, this is monopolistic competition, not a monopoly. What did I just do here? Yep. Okay. For a monopolistic competitor, be more or less elastic. More or less elastic, and why? More or less elastic, and why? Take a few seconds. Yeah, if you want to actually answer me, that would be awesome. Write me a little answer. I'd be so impressed. All right, so we got it, right? More elastic because there's close substitutes. So more elastic, monopolistic competition has close substitutes. So if you try to change your price, somebody else is going to undercut you. The characteristics, remember, they're going to market a lot, right? They're going to market a lot. There's lots of competitors. That's totally different than a monopoly, more like perfect competition, but you have some control over price. You can create a situation where people believe your value is greater than other people's value. Examples of monopolistic competitive are almost all retailers, right? Restaurants, clothing places, department stores all compete with each other. Let's see if there's anything else really cool. Monopolistic competition is another form of pure monopoly. No, it isn't. A monopoly has no competitors, right? No one else makes what they make. Monopolistic competition is better than perfect competition. Well, the one thing we get with monopolistic competition is we get the ability we have variety. And when it comes to restaurants and things like that, we like variety. So we're happy to have some variety. Who produces at their most efficient point? One group only. What is it? That's right. That's perfect competition. All right. So we're moving like crazy here. That's awesome. All right, here you go. If you can, got a sheet of paper in front of you, hopefully, draw that, okay? Set that puppy up. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Do the best you can, as much as you can, through about 2 minutes, and maybe 3. And we will come back to you. So you got 3 minutes. Go now. Don't leave that. Just work. Okay, hopefully you noticed the firm was earning a loss. Whoa, that was loud. All right, so monopoly loss. Demand, marginal revenue, marginal cost. A loss, we need to be above. There's ATC. You need to make sure you carry this thing far enough where your vertical line will hit, right? MR equals MC has to go all the way to the loss. There's price, quantity, there's cost. Okay, what do they ask? Quantity, QM, PM, check, check. ATC, check. Allocatively efficient quantity. Allocatively efficient is where MR equals, where quantity supplied equals quantity demanded, right? That's efficient. So we have to label that QA, right? And that's supply, right? Marginal cost equals supply. So where quantity supplied equals quantity demand is the efficient quantity. So we got that. Grants a lump sum, right? Lump sums never shift the curve, okay? But it's going to lower their ATC. So shade the area of the subsidy. Well, the subsidy is simply they need to subsidize the loss. So you're going to shade all of this in here. How about that, right? Super simple. Yeah, pretty much got it. Will the profit maximizing quantity increase, decrease, or remain? It will remain the same. Explain. There's no change in marginal cost or marginal revenue. No change in marginal cost or marginal revenue. Lump sums don't shift the curve because you're not changing, right? If I change marginal cost, boom, that would do something. If I change marginal revenue, boom, that would do something. So if we had a per unit subsidy, there would be a change, right? It would actually allow them to produce more, but it's not a per unit subsidy. Okay, suppose instead the government provides with a per unit subsidy, such as firm earns zero profit. Will the profit maximizing quantity increase, decrease, or remain the same? It will increase, okay? Because this marginal cost will be lower, increasing the amount that will be provided by the seller. Or if you said the marginal revenue would increase, that would work too. Will the price paid by consumers increase, decrease, or remain the same? Well, as you move along this curve, what's happening to price? Well, price comes from the demand curve, right? As you shift these two guys, you're going to get moved to the right, which means the price will decrease. So the price will decrease. In the market, will a lump sum or per unit subsidy lead to an increase in the total consumer surplus, or is the change indeterminate? Okay. Will the lump sum or the per unit subsidy lead to an increase in the total consumer surplus? Okay. It will be the per unit, right? Because the lump sum doesn't change anything, so the surplus wouldn't be any different. The per unit will change things, so the per unit will allow them to produce more. That's Fort Walton Beach High School calling me. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, I presume you're getting notified of stuff again. Okay, so the per unit subsidy will cause an increase in the total consumer surplus because it'll lower the price, right? If it lowers the price, that'll increase the total surplus. All right, so I don't think there's any super fun stuff in our standard answers. Okay, yeah, look at that. Boy, I nailed that one. Got it just perfect. I'm liking that. There we go. All right, moving on. Fun stuff now. Oh, yeah. Mr. Latham, I'm so excited about this. Guess what you get to do? Last thing for today. See if you can do this thing, okay? Redraw your matrix and make sure you label air touches, right? First is on the left, so label them somehow, but realize then you're going to select them, right? You're going to circle the ones that you pick. So I'm going to give you, I tell you what, let's just do this together because you can't just throw these together real quick. So we'll work it together, okay? I know you want to do that anyway. Okay, so we have two airlines. They know all the information. They got to live with what they do. So the question is, what are they going to do? All right. So we've got air touches the first, and Windward is the ones that aren't labeled. So we got to pick something to look at first. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to hide these. Okay, so I'm saying Windward is going to pick morning. What should air touch do? Okay, well, I have choices, right? I can either get 1,000 or 750. Which one would you rather have? I want 1,000. Okay, so now let's switch it. Let's say Windward wants morning. Which one would they rather have? Well, 900 is greater than 700. So there, whoa, did not want to do that. Okay, try that again. Okay, we're going to pick 900. Okay, so it turns out air touch doesn't have a dominant strategy, do they? Okay, now we're going to change our little rectangle here. Now we're going to assume air touch picked evening. We need to compare what will Windward do. Okay, and you see I'm actually hiding those so I can make a single decision. You can take a little piece of paper and cover it up. You can cover it up with your pencil probably because it's going to be pretty tiny on a sheet of paper. Well, would you rather have 950 or 800? Once again, not a tough call. I'd rather have 950. Cover up, force air touch to choose morning. Would we rather have 700 or 600? We'd rather have 700. I did it again. Got to quit doing that. There we go, 700. All right, now that we've done all that, I can get my rectangle out of the way. In what market structure do these firms operate? Do you know that? Can you answer that one? You should be able to. I didn't hear you loud enough. Oh, there you go. Oligopoly. Why? Because the firms are interdependent, or you could say because what one firm does directly affects the other firm. Either one of those explanations works great. Got it? If Windward chooses an evening departure, Windward, evening. Okay, what is air touch going to do? Well, they're right here, evening, they're going to pick evening. Okay, air touch picks evening because it's right here. Evening. Okay. Identify the dominant strategy for Windward. Windward's dominant strategy is morning, right? They actually tell you there's a dominant strategy, right? Literally identify the dominant strategy. If you say there's none, I guarantee you get the problem wrong. Okay? When they ask it that way, there's an answer, and the answer is morning. Okay? Is choosing an evening departure a dominant strategy for air touch? No. And then when you explain, you talk about if Windward chooses morning, air touch will also choose morning. And if Windward chooses air touch will switch to evening. Okay, that would be the best way to explain it, is just talk about what Windward does and how that changes from morning to evening. And you could say that in different words, but you got to say the same thing. If both firms know all of the information in the payoff matrix, but do not cooperate, what will be Windward's daily profit? Go to Windward. They're going to pick right here, right? There's your Windward. By the way, what's the name of that? What's this thing called? Famous movie, right? Beautiful Mind. A Nash equilibrium, right? The Nash equilibrium is this, but they asked for Windward's profit, and the answer is $700. I don't suppose it's 10:30 yet. It's all right, guys. You guys were awesome. I just want to let you know on Monday we're probably going to start at 9:25. That's what I'm planning right now. We'll keep it to about half an hour. Monday's session is no longer optional for the rest of the crew. Okay, you need to do Monday's session. You're gonna have homework and stuff like that you got to keep up with, and you're going to take some tests, and the test will affect your grade and all. So it's like you want it from here on out. Now, if you can't make the live session, that's okay. Try to, because you can ask questions in the live session. You can't ask questions of the tape. But if you can't make the live session, watch it on tape. Like I said, hopefully none of them will be longer than about 35 minutes or so. I'm going to work really hard on that. But we'll get started. We got plenty of time. We will get everything done, and you will be successful. Okay, so I don't see any questions anybody's asked. So we're all good. And so see you, Cole, Haley, Jessica, Annie, Sophie, Teresa, Carter, Alondra, Cole, Mira on the wall. Is that Tamira? Oh, that's Tamira, Kendrick, and Teresa. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.